Hello, sports fans! And by sports fans, I mean film fans. I just got this week's issue of Entertainment Weekly, which includes many details on what they are thinking about the Oscar race. And I'm one of those guys who cares about stupid things like the Oscars. Last year, I think I predicted about 75% of the categories. There were a few that I didn't predict because I hadn't seen as many of the movies as I wished, so I just didn't call them because some of the categories I hadn't seen any of the nominees, and some of them I had only seen one. So hopefully this year, the reason I'm doing this, this year I want to be a little better prepared so I can actually predict all the major categories for sure. Last year, I think I got, of the 75% of the categories that I predicted, I think I only got 3 wrong. So I'm pretty good at this, so I want to keep doing it. So Entertainment Weekly has published this list of 25 movies that you need to see before February, whenever it is, 2020-something. The first one is The Artist, which is a silent black and white film that has been making a huge amount of waves and buzz, blah, blah, blah. And I have not seen this. And I don't know if I'll be able to see it as much as I want to. It's not playing around here. I'd have to go to a major city or something. I don't think I'm going to be able to see this. That sucks. The second movie that I'm probably not going to get to see that also sucks is The Descendants, which is, I'll show you a little picture. It's this George Clooney movie. He plays a single dad with three daughters. And it sounds incredible. It really seems like everyone's pulling for him to win the Oscar for Best Actor for that movie. And this is like the anti-George Clooney movie for me, because the George Clooney that I like is the George Clooney from Up in the Air or from Batman. No, I'm joking. It's, like the Michael Clayton George Clooney is the perfect George Clooney to me. And this is a very touchy-feely Clooney, which is fine, and I'm glad that he can do both. It's not my Clooney. It's not the kind that I like. Which, by the way, I still haven't seen The American. Is it good? Is it any good? Has anyone seen it? I really want to watch it. There's no reason that I haven't. I just haven't gotten around to it. Number 3 is War Horse, which I gotta say I really don't care about. There are certain Spielberg movies that I'm just like, I know it's Spielberg, but I just don't care. I don't care. Next is The Help. I would like to see that. It is on DVD, so I think I'll have a chance. Next is Hugo, which I keep going back and forth on Hugo. I understand that it's way better than it's being marketed as, because it's being marketed as a kids' movie. And I've read everything that says it's better than that. It's really about the history of film and film appreciation, which totally is Martin Scorsese's bag. But unless I go see it by myself, I don't think I'm going to see it. And I don't care enough. Next is Midnight in Paris, which is Woody Allen's movie that he released last year. I do want to see that. Next is Moneyball. I have seen that, and it was fantastic. I would love Best Writing nomination. I would love Brad Pitt nomination for acting for sure. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is next. Yes, I've seen that. I would love to see Rooney Mara nominated for Best Actress. Will it happen? I would say she doesn't have a good shot because of who she's up against. I would definitely like to see it happen, though. Number 9 is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, which goes wide in a couple weeks. So I have the opportunity to see it before the awards, and I might. In case you are unfamiliar with that movie, it's about a young boy who, I don't know if it's explicit that he has autism or something, but he seems to display autistic tendencies or something like that. It's very upfront about the fact that his father dies in the September 11th attacks on New York City. His father's played by Tom Hanks, and his mother's played by Sandra Bullock. And after his father dies, he goes through the city trying to find clues that his father might have left for him of some story that... Anyway, it looks really good. The book is supposedly really good. I haven't read it. And I have a feeling it might get some nominations. So I might like to see that. Number 10 is The Tree of Life, which is also a Brad Pitt movie that is apparently kind of divisive. I'll see it. It's out on DVD. I'll see it. I will see it before the ceremony. Next is Beginners, which is Christopher Plummer. From what I've heard, he'll probably get a nomination. I would love to watch this, so I will watch that on DVD. 12th is Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I've seen that. Saw it more than once. 13 is The Iron Lady, which is Meryl Streep's Margaret Thatcher biopic. I understand that she's probably going to be nominated, and it's very exciting, and blah, blah, blah. Will I see it before the ceremony? Probably not. And it's not because I'm not interested in, like, British politics or whatever. I actually have seen a number of things about British politics. I've seen The Deal and The Queen, which are, like, modern political and... what would be the word for the royalty? Royal political... I don't know. Royal political dramas. And then I also watched this miniseries. Wait, what's it called? It was adapted into an American movie that was not nearly as good. And it was directed by one of the guys who directed Harry Potter. And I can't think of the name. You want some Mountain Dew? Alright, I'll figure it out later. I'm not going to do it right now. Anyway, I don't have anything against this movie. I just don't think I'm going to get to see it. So, that's The Iron Lady. Number 14 is Rango, which I keep hearing... I mean, let's be clear. I mean, let's be honest. Pixar is not going to get Best Animated Feature this year. They won't. They've got Cars 2, and they're up against Rango, which I understand is a very good movie, and Kung Fu Panda 2, which I also understand is a good movie, and Tintin, which... the jury's still out on that. I keep hearing mixed things, and I haven't seen it myself. But I don't think Cars 2 really has a fighting chance. So Rango's on here. I would love to watch it, and I have a feeling that it stands a very solid chance of winning Best Animated Feature. 15 is My Week with Marilyn, which is one of the Marilyn Monroe biopics that is coming out. She is played in this version, because there's more than one. Who's the other actress playing her? I don't know. She's played by Michelle Williams, who I understand is amazing, and it has Kenneth Branagh in it as Laurence Olivier, which that's got to be something to see, right? I would love to see that. Again, I don't think it's going to come around and release here before the theaters, or before the award ceremony. Shame is next, which is that NC-17 Michael Fassbender is naked the entire time movie. I'm not going to get to see that before ceremony. Albert Nobbs is that Glenn Close playing a man thing. I'm not going to see that. The Ides of March comes out on DVD in 2 weeks. I would love to see this movie, and I will. I will see it before the ceremony, but everything that I've heard about it has been disappointment. It's a George Clooney and Ryan Gosling political thriller kind of thing. And I was really excited going into it, but then I heard bad things about it. But this says they think it could earn Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay, so I'll check it out. Kung Fu Panda 2, I'll probably watch it on DVD. Bridesmaids deserves to be nominated for Best Screenplay. I hope it is. It better be. The problem with the Academy nominating the movies they do... Oh man, I'm really pushing the time on this, sorry. The Academy nominates dramas because dramas have an impact, and there seems to be a way to measure them. And what the Academy tends to ignore is comedy and action. And the problem is that comedy and action, while there are so many bad comedies and bad action movies, they are harder to make good comedy and good action. It is harder to make good comedy and good action than it is to make good drama. Period. Period. And anyone who thinks otherwise is a fool. It is very hard to make good comedy. That's why there are so few great comedies. Bridesmaids is the only comedy on this list of 25 films. Unless you count the 2 kids movies, but they're thrown in here for Best Animated Feature. There's no comedy film listed in here. Certainly no adult comedy. And Bridesmaids, I would nominate for Best Picture. If I were picking my 10 movies of the year, Bridesmaids would be my first 5 that I mentioned. That movie's incredible. Kristen Wiig deserves an Oscar for writing that movie. And her writing partner, who I can't think of her name. Well, if you've seen the movie, when she's on the airplane freaking out and the woman is beside her and she's like, I had a dream last night that this plane crashed. That's the woman who wrote the movie with her. So anyway, great movie. Great movie. Number 21 is J. Edgar, which is the J. Edgar Hoover biopic that was directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Leo DiCaprio. I'm sure they're gonna get Oscar noms out of that. I like Clint Eastwood movies. Gran Torino, I think, is the worst of the most recent ones. And if that's the only one that you've seen, you're missing a huge amount of good film. The Flags of Our Fathers and Letters to Iwo Jima or From Iwo Jima? Those movies are, I want to swear, incredible. They're incredible. They're so powerful. I think they're the best World War II movies made since Saving Private Ryan. And I really think you need to watch them both if you're going to watch one. They go together. $1 Million Baby was so much better than Gran Torino. There's another one that I still haven't seen. It's that Angelina Jolie one, Changeling. I still haven't seen that. I should. Anyway, I don't think I'll get to see that before the awards. 22 is We Need to Talk About Kevin, which is what is going to get Tilda Swinton nominated for Best Actress. I don't know anything about it. It says it goes wide January 13th. I might see it before it comes out. Drive is number 23. Drive is fantastic. If you are old enough to see it, it comes out on DVD January 31st. It is rated R for a reason. I'll just be clear. It's rated R, but you should see it. Be prepared for violence, but you should see it. 24 is Young Adult. That's what's going to get Charlize Theron nominated. Also, it was written by Diablo Cody, who has already won an Oscar. So that stands a good chance. I would love to see that movie before the ceremony. Why do I keep struggling on that point? And then number 25 is weird, and I don't know what it is. It's called Paradise Lost 3 Purgatory, and then it says it premieres January 12th on HBO. So why is it on this list? It says Joe Berlinger's and Bruce Sinofsky's controversial doc about 3 teens from West Memphis, Arkansas, who were convicted, some say wrongly, of murder, is the one to beat. So I guess this is the doc, like the doc of the year. But last year, I hadn't seen any of the docs, and I went off all of the advice that I was reading in news sites entertainment news sites across the internet, and that one didn't win. So I'm not going to say that Paradise Lost 3 Purgatory, which is a weird name, is not going to win, but I'm just saying, like, they seem to not know what they're talking about in doc categories a lot of the time. Yeah. So that's my babble about the upcoming Oscar ceremony. I'm sure I will have other things to say as the date gets closer, and the nominations are announced, I think, January 20-something. Oh, and this has absolutely nothing to do with it, but in the must list this week, which I gotta say, the must list does a pretty good job of lining up with 5 things, sometimes annoyingly so. Like, I'll put out an episode of 5 things, and then I'll look at the issue of EW that arrived the day before, and I'll see that 2 of my things are on their list. And then I feel like I ripped them off. And actually, this week, one of my things is on their list, but I'm not going to show you that one. I'll show you this one. Yay for John Green getting The Fault in Our Stars as recommended on the front page of the must list this week. Good job. The popular young adult author and vlogger, they pointed it out, has never shied away from difficult issues. And then blah, 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 cancer, kids. Anyway. So keep posted to the news channel, and Shawn and Carter have a podcast for more discussion about what goes on with the Oscars and the Oscar race. I'm sure we'll have plenty to say. Also, who is hosting this year? Does anyone know? I have no idea who's hosting. Shoot.